Hi everybody, Sonja Babich here with Wedding Day Podcast. I am here at Summit Hill Studios in Minnesota. My co-host today is Brooke Beise, publisher of Minnesota Bride and Nebraska Wedding Day. And our guest today is D'Amico Hospitality. Christie is the director of marketing and Blake is the chef de cuisine. And they have bring so many years of knowledge, but D'Amico has been a great partner of Minnesota Bride and cheerleader, and we just love working with them, and I'm excited for you all to get to know them and their expertise in catering and hospitality. So, hi guys.
Hello,
Hey.
thanks for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Oh,
Good.
we are so, I'm excited for everybody to get to know you. Everything that you touch in this industry, from venues to food to hospitality, is just, it's magic.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
That
it's
means
so like classy and delivered. It can be fun, it can be traditional, and you all just, your team just knows how to deliver it.
We do our best. Yeah, it's always nice to find just different nuggets of inspiration with each of our clients that we're working with. And to your point, sometimes that means it's a very formal affair, and other times it means that we are creating an alien with a noodle salad exploding out of its guts. So wide-ranging is a great way to say it.
Before we get down to the nitty-gritty yummy details, how long has D'Amico been around? Like, what's the story?
That's a great question. So
Yeah.
D'Amico's been around for 4 decades, and it started with 2 brothers, Larry and Richard D'Amico, who were originally from Cleveland.
Okay.
They grew up really in their family restaurant, washing dishes, helping out, and that inspired them to just jump into hospitality.
I love
and
it.
so Richard relocated up here for personal reasons as a young man. Larry followed him when Richard called and said, "Hey, I've got an idea, like let's do this." And so the company started off with fine dining restaurants. They really are the pioneers of the Twin Cities dining scene. We owe not all of that's not fair. There's so many wildly talented culinary folks in town who continue to make our culinary scene excellent, but they were really the first ones to say, hey, the people of Minneapolis have great palates, they want this fine dining experience. And so they were the 2 that really planted the flag and established the foodie culture that we have in Minneapolis and St. Paul today.
Wow, I love that.
So we started with full service restaurants, and then that transformed into opening up what was really the very first fast casual concept that the Twin Cities saw, the D'Amico and Sons cafes. And then in 1992, they started the catering division, catering lots of different high-end events throughout town. And now our full-service restaurants, Cafe and Bar Lurcott, is just right off of Loring Park, and just a magical place.
It
if
is
you've
such a
ever been.
magical place.
The light in that restaurant could not be better. It is
gorgeous.
Pure magic. There's still a few D'Amico and Sons cafes around today in Golden Valley and 50th and France and Edina. And then, of course, the catering division is going strong. We have 12 exclusive venues currently,
Wow.
and do catering for all of them, along with anywhere you might be hosting an event. So on the shores of Lake Minnetonka to an office building downtown. If you're hosting your event in any location, we are happy to be there and to make magic for you.
Wow, so you said 12 venues.
Yes.
Exclusive.
Exclusive
Venues, yeah.
It's
Wow.
allowing that like one-stop shop. It's almost like you're the kitchen in the venue, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And all of our exclusive venues have wonderful kitchen facilities within them, some bigger than others. It's venue dependent, but with that, you know that you have a great quality of food that's coming out for your guests that evening. And it's just such an advantage for people where they've got a beautiful venue, but also built-in service team, bartending staff, chefs. They have a event planner with D'Amico that they're working with to plan out all of the details, from floor plan through timing, through vendor load in, load out, menu design, talking about wares, service, all of that.
Your team also educates when they're planning. I remember we had a venue, it was at a distillery, and I remember Jessica being like, Sonja, I gotta like pop up a kitchen. There's not a kitchen there. And I'm like, you do?
You'd be surprised how often that happens, honestly.
Yeah.
But you make it happen.
Yeah.
And it always is executed perfectly. So Blake, where do you come into the picture with the planning process?
So, as I've said before, with Christie, we do this thing where she comes to us with ideas, or we have ideas for these venues, and we just get to planning from there. We ask our clients what they like and don't like. We ask them their favorite restaurants. We try to emulate
cool.
things that they like, and then put that into their event. my job as chef de cuisine, I get to play with the food, as like I get to take some points of the operations, but like the actual food part is where I get to really just get to play around and
shine.
So, and she presents me these opportunities to learn, so I get to learn new things as well.
You know how many chefs would love to have your job?
Oh, absolutely. I know, I am very blessed.
Yeah, because I know, like, D'Amico, you guys you're a well-oiled machine, but you make it fun as a well-oiled machine with creativity.
Do our best.
I can just picture this. Christie having a conversation with Blake. I got an opportunity to learn. We're gonna make an alien.
Yeah.
How
That's
can you
pretty much how it goes.
how can you make an alien yummy and look appetizing?
That was one of my most favorite recent projects.
Let's elaborate. So what was the project for?
Yeah.
So there is an event in town that's produced by the International Live Event Association Minneapolis chapter called the Minnesota Star Awards. And similarly to the wonderful Minnesota Bride Awards, this is an event that takes place usually in March of the year, and it's honoring all of the different types of events that have happened in the Twin Cities. So weddings are absolutely a category, but also looking at corporate events, nonprofits, different catering angles, all of that. And so that event is one that's completely volunteer-based, both in terms of the actual brain power that goes into the production and also all of the in-kind donations that come to support the event. And so everybody in town just shows up with their best, and it's a night where there really aren't rules as you're planning on what you're going to contribute to the event. There's a theme, of course, there's direction given by the director, but this last year's theme in 2025 was called Area 21, which was a play on Area 51. And so the concept was you start off at cocktail hour in the desert, you make your way onto a spaceship via being abducted. The award ceremony happens on the spaceship, and then the spaceship crash lands, and now we are on planet Ilea, and it is an intergalactic cosmic rave. And so as we were planning...
It was a rave.
It was. As we were planning what to do for late night, because that was our portion, we said, hey, as D'Amico, we'll handle late night snacks for all of these folks who are in full-on celebratory mode at that point. We sat down, Jeff, our executive chef, Blake, our chef de cuisine, myself, our marketing coordinator, Madison, and just thought, what does late night snack look like on an intergalactic rave planet?
Yeah.
And I don't even know how this alien idea came up. I think Jeff probably started it. But ultimately what wound up happening is we decided that we would create an alien autopsy station where there would be an alien laying on a silver autopsy table, and his...
Are we saying autopsy on the podcast right now?
There weren't any limits that were
I love that. I love
it gets
that.
better, just wait. And so we decided this autopsy station would feature an alien laying there, and his guts would be exploding from his body, and the guts, of course, would be edible because we're a food company. And we're doing late night snack. And so it wound up being a really delicious vegan, ironically, japchae salad that the chef who was attending the station was standing over this alien and literally just taking the guts out of him and then putting it in a cute little Asian to-go box and handing it to guests.
I love it.
And there was a lot of back-end work that went into that.
Absolutely, trying to figure out how to get an alien with a bowl in its belly that we can serve out of. That was part of it.
Yeah.
And then, what do you put in it? And we figured noodles equals belly parts, right? So
I just remember seeing guests coming around and holding their cup, or was it almost like an Asian box, I think?
Yeah, Asian
and
box.
they were like, have you tried this? And they're that's always the best compliment for food is have you had this yet?
Yeah.
Well, and part of what we like to do too, and I think this is a wonderful example, is the food has to be delicious. That is baseline, that is entry level. If it's not delicious, we're not going to do it. But how are we presenting things in a way that functions well, that has that aesthetic or that presentation look that we're going for, event depending. Alien autopsy station, not for everybody. Probably not a wedding trend this year if I had to guess.
I don't think that's a wedding trend. I don't think Grandma would like that one.
I mean, we know how to do it. We actually still have the alien. He's in my office. He's a 6'2" mannequin.
Oh, God.
We've named him Manny. And
That's
I've
perfect.
frightened a few people on Zoom because he's standing in the back corner of my meeting and they'll be like, Christie, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, what? And they're like, there's a man behind you. I'm like, oh, no,
No, that's just Mandy,
That's
no
just
big
Mandy.
deal.
Yeah,
That's Mandy to me, though.
yes, exactly. So we have a lot of fun with it, for sure.
That's amazing. And the properties that you partner with, they're one of the most respected venues.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Amazing.
So that makes it probably fun for your team to walk into this venue and be like, we're going to own this event. We're going to do a great job.
Absolutely. We have the best service team that anybody could ask for. We have wonderful general managers who oversee various properties, and then their team that works with them consists of different levels of managers, event supervisors, service staff, bartenders, the kitchen, of course, wonderful head chefs at all of our different locations. And so you really have a team of experts at each of our exclusive venues that know that venue inside and out. They know what flows. They know the best way to set up a ceremony in the round. They know that a particular dish is probably not going to execute well based on the environmental factors that are around, and can help guide clients through those selections. So we really pride ourselves on not only having these beautiful venues, but having a very educated team that not only works with our clients through the planning process, but also is taking the best possible care of them the night of.
I honestly think that's such a big missing point that we don't talk about with couples, is the experience of the hospitality of the staff that are on the property for your wedding day. And that's a question I don't think they think of when they're touring a venue or talking to a catering team. Like, who is their hospitality team that's going to be the ones touching my guests?
Yes,
Well,
every single person in the room.
Yes.
When I worked at a venue, my title was catering sales manager. And I'm like, what about the floor plans I'm doing?
Yeah.
What about the timelines I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like, that's just, I mean, the
Vendor
food, everything centers
connections.
around the food, right?
Yes.
But like all that other stuff is the hospitality package. And so I know you guys just kind of rebranded from D'Amico Catering to D'Amico Hospitality, and I'm assuming it's kind of for that reason. So share more about your rebrand.
Yeah, you know, this seed came to me about 2 years ago. It was, what was it, the summer of 2023, gosh, at that point. And I had stumbled upon a book called Unreasonable Hospitality, written by Will Guidara. Highly, highly recommend. It's an excellent book. If you're into restaurants and food, like, it's a no-brainer for you. But the beauty of this book is that it really is showcasing that hospitality is for everybody. It's not specific to the hospitality industry. It's specific to every single human on this planet who is trying to take care of others in acts of service, whether that would be for profit in business or just, you know, otherwise in their life. And so I'm sitting there reading this book and just getting like super geeking out about it. Absolutely in love with it. I think I have probably made at least 15 people in my life read it.
I love that.
I'm so excited about it. And as I'm finishing up the book, in my head, Brooke, it's exactly what you just said. Like,
Yeah.
food is our foundation, food is our heart, but the soul of D'Amico Catering is truly the entire experience that you're getting with it. And so I made my pitch to the partners, and they liked the idea, but said, okay, not yet, there's other things going on. So we backburnered it for a little bit. And then about 6 or 8 months ago, it finally was time for us to make that transition. So along with Jessica Kielbach, our director of sales, and Kathy Bavard, our managing director is her title, the three of us really spent probably 3 months together, meetings. All of this was top secret. The staff didn't know, nobody on the team knew. Publicly, of course, we weren't talking about it because we wanted it to be just this beautiful reveal and very well thought out for everyone.
Yeah.
So this winter we went on a leadership retreat and were able to show what this was going to look like to all of our great leaders. There were about probably 15 or 16 people there. And then we did a really fun rollout to our staff, still a surprise at that point, in February.
I love that.
And the very next day we launched it publicly and were able to put out a press release, switched all of our social media accounts overnight, a brand new website was unveiled. There were VIP treat boxes that we dropped off for some of our favorite people.
Trucks around town.
Yes, the trucks. Oh, that was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
All of Blake's trucks got completely rebranded. So rewrapped with the new logo, all of the new color palettes, all of it. And so those trucks were just running around town, dropping off those treat boxes, and it was really, really fun to see just, you know, photos from them in the wild that our friends would send us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was loving what you were saying, hospitality. in the sense of like the overall experience, because I always say that the experience for a wedding day or for a guest that comes onto the property is when they pull into your driveway.
Yeah.
And that's also in general if you're
Exactly.
hosting a party at your house.
Yeah.
When they pull into your road, your driveway, the experience is beginning.
Exactly.
And it has to be from the start to finish of all the details. And that's a trend right now. All the details matter
Yes,
on a wedding
absolutely.
day to make that experience happen. But that's kind of how I was raised, is just like from the very moment they get the invitation,
Right.
the experience happens.
Set the tone.
Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
So, and that's been really the most fun in this rebrand is the change in name is simple. If you think of changing from D'Amico Catering to D'Amico Hospitality, that in and of itself isn't revolutionary.
But it's so profound.
But it is.
It is.
I think so. Yes, profound is a great word, but it also it's who we are.
Yeah.
And it's who we've always been. We just now are able to use better language to communicate that for folks. So to your point, it's the minute a client calls us. And to back
Correct.
up, it's before that. It's the
Yeah.
minute they maybe intentionally seek out our Instagram account.
When they're stalking you.
The minute
take
they hit our website, their experience begins there. We're able to show them who we are through those beautiful words and images. And then it's everything throughout. It's the process of showing them our venues to see if it's the right fit. It's the process of planning and getting into tastings and maybe menu customization for them, talking about bar and service. And then to your point, what do our flowers look like in the parking lot the minute a guest steps foot onto our property? That has to be spot on because every detail counts.
And I think for our listeners who are engaged couples, like, pay attention to that. If they're not taking care of their grounds, why would they take care of their food or their venue inside?
Yeah.
Yep.
They need to be taking care of every aspect on the property.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
it even comes to the uniforms.
Definitely.
Yep.
And that was something with the rebrand that we took the time to complete a new look for our staff. The black catering shirt has been around for a while, and 15 years ago it was revolutionary is maybe dramatic, but it was a really nice shift 15 years ago away from the bow ties and that kind of classic, I hate the term cater waiter, but that what people think of as that look.
Yep.
And the black shirt we felt had run its course, and so we've gone back to something that we feel is extremely classic with a starched white Oxford shirt, a black tie, and then a full apron that just has a tiny little D'Amico
love
Hospitality logo on it. So it just looks really clean and professional and upscale. In our
I'm
opinion.
guessing a black apron, right?
Black. Yeah.
So why I was sharing that, so I was a banquet server, part of my story too. So when you're carrying the vinaigrette salads plates and you don't have a tray, oh, you better believe I had a line right here and was so embarrassed. So it's good to know what your staff is wearing because you want them to look clean, right? Even though they may be dirty, but you don't know.
Yeah, the black really helps with that. And that's a great point. Even asking those simple questions where that's probably not at the top of your priority list when you're selecting a venue.
No.
But knowing what each of those individual details look like and really understanding how that picture will be painted the evening of, there's no silly question to ask.
There is no silly question to ask. But also, like, your team has been around for a long time, and that also speaks volume about D'Amico. Like, how long has the longest employee been there?
Our most tenured employee, I think, is probably around 35 years. Knowing the company started about 40 years ago, that is pretty impressive.
That is amazing.
Leah Henderson, who is just the very best. She's our executive pastry chef. She's been with the company, I think, 32 years at this point. So really from the get-go, she originally was overseeing all of the restaurants and their pastry program there. And then several years ago, just before COVID, we were able to convince her to come over to catering / hospitality. And the work that she does is just absolutely stunning.
Okay, before we go, I want to know some sexy trends that you are
I
seeing
was
come up
just
through the
gonna ask that
pipeline.
too. Yeah.
Yes.
Some trends.
Yeah, let's hear from Blake. Trends.
So we're seeing food becoming more centered on not just the event, but like the whole experience. We're doing these awesome tablescapes nowadays where we are bringing in fresh produce and that is getting tied in to the aesthetic of the event. So food is sexy anyways, right? That's what we want it to be. We want it to be enticing. And when we do these, even if it's just a buffet table, we want it to look that much better and tied in with the entire event. It's not just our food, it's the event, right? So that's one trend that I'm personally seeing. We've had a couple funny ones where we say this is the year of the mini hot dog, but I hope it's not true.
The request for hot dogs this year, unparalleled.
That's hilarious.
And I don't know
No
why.
way.
I don't know why. I don't know how. But we've had several people request hot dogs recently.
Okay.
We had the Galactic Glizzies at the Aliyah Awards.
yeah.
That was really fun.
And those can be done in really simple ways for late night. They can be dressed up for cocktail hour. There's many different options. But when people ask about recent trends, begrudgingly will admit that the hot dog requests are
I'm like
flying in.
thinking of the turd hot dog at the golf course of but who
Right.
doesn't love a hot dog?
Who doesn't love a hot dog? And you can do a lot with it, and it's a lot of fun. But obviously, it's not the most elegant thing. But we
Hey,
do
it's
it
a
all,
good beer
right?
sponge for a late night
Yeah,
snack.
It's
exactly.
balanced. Exactly. Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on the podcast
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
and dealing with my little sniffle on the couch. So thank
You're
you.
doing great.
This
Well,
was fun.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning into Wedding Day Podcast. We'll see you next time. See you. Bye.